Hey guys, welcome back. So, we wanted to do another SUV shootout. So we have 3 over here, even though we did like 4 cars last year. So we have a C-segment SUV shootout part 2 in 2022. So we have the Subaru Forester GT edition, the Peugeot 3008 Allure, and the Goliath, the C-segment king of SUVs. We have the Honda CR-V. That is Sep, I am Jim, this is Adam. And we're here at Gamuda Cove to film this SUV shootout. So we have our usual format. So we have a comfort test, a speed, acceleration, and braking test. How much cargo can these SUVs actually carry with you? How practical are they? And a few other challenges. So let's get to it. Before that, what do you guys think about your chances of beating any of these cars?
Man, Goliath. How old is your car? Is it from Greek ancient history or something?
Bro, it doesn't matter how old this car is. This is the best looking one here. This is
Woo,
the most
what?
powerful here, and it's the most affordable. Come on, bro.
Can't
Come
knock
at
you
me,
on
bro.
that last one, but best looking? I don't know. Jim.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean,
This-
you can't say much about that, but
What?
this
What?
is
Come on.
really good looking.
This
This is
is-
all about style.
What? This
You
is
can't-
the GT edition. Look at this. All this.
It's trying hard, love. It's
Come
trying
on,
hard.
love. It's like pale compared to yours. You know, this is
I mean,
everything.
he's
There's
trying
wing.
really hard to be an Arus, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Look at the color,
Arus?
bro. Right, wrong
Alright,
color
alright.
choice, bro.
So I guess we'll find out who's the king, who's still the king, or who might dethrone the king in a few minutes. Let's get to it.
King of Thrones.
Gold standard. Gold standard. Come on, guys.
Okay, so before we arrive at Gamuda Cove, we took a fuel challenge test, right? So we went from Petronas Sri Hartamas all the way to the R&R in Dengkil, which is just outside Gamuda Cove. Alright, so we went through a lot of roads that we don't know. It's a
Banting.
mixed Banting, and it's a mixture of like urban and back roads, and highway, and yeah, so now we're here. But guys, before we unveil the results, who did you think was going to win the fuel challenge?
Well, if you ask me, because I checked out all the 3 cars, and on paper, supposedly the CR-V is supposed to be the best because it has the lowest fuel mileage for every 100 kilometers. So I'm very confident in the CR-V that I'm driving.
Okay.
And Adam, I think you're very confident in your car because I think it won. Probably it did very well last time around. We had the actual SUV shootout. Not so confident about the Peugeot. Let me just say, the Peugeot has an engine that has won Engine of the Year, European Engine of the Year for like 3 or 4 years. It's a good engine. So even if I lose, it's my fault, lah. Okay.
So anyway,
Yeah.
without all that French cream on top, what was your fuel bill, Seth?
Yeah, so after traveling just over 100 kilometers, I believe it was 101. So my fuel bill is 12 ringgit and 4 cents.
Jim?
What? Okay, all right. So 100 kilometers, right? And I got a heavy right foot. So 17 ringgit I paid to go 100 km, which is pretty good. Right, it's pretty good.
Not as good as the CR-V though.
Well, that's what you think, alright? So, like we always say, on paper doesn't mean squat. Because the Subaru, for 100 kilometers, it only required 10 ringgit and 59 cents. Ta-da! Okay? Alright, let's move on to the next challenge because, yeah, it's a clear winner anyway. We know this.
Yeah.
Right now, we are going to do the luggage test for all 3 cars. If you'd like to know the capacity for each model, I think you will see it up above somewhere here. But yeah, here we have 10 different size items that we are trying to see which car can fit the most bags for all this. Yeah, so we are going to find out now. Right, we'll start with the CR-V first. Jom.
This is the Marie Kondo thing, lah.
Wow, okay, confident.
So, luggage. So fit 7 items, but as you can see, Seb's kids will not be happy because he's left their bag here and the stroller here. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice we all have to make. Sorry, kids.
All right, let's move on to the Peugeot.
Yes!
So also 8 items for the Peugeot. Okay, there you go. The Subaru wins this round with a total of 9 bags, whereas the CR-V and the Peugeot is tied with 8. So another winner for this Subaru.
Alright guys, we're doing I think the most important test, which is performance, which we'll do in a drag race and a braking test. So we'll accelerate to 60 kph, and when we reach that speed, we will stand on the brakes. It's a test of acceleration and braking. So for me at least, I have a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine producing 165 PS or horsepower and 240 Newton meters of torque, which is pretty good. But yeah, Sep, what do you have?
You guys hear that? 1.5 liter VTEC turbo, 193 PS, 243 Newton meters of torque.
Also the heaviest car. So Adam, what do you have? Oh, is it also the heaviest car?
Turbo Schmerbo. Let me introduce you to the boxing spirit, yeah? So this car's got a 2-liter boxer engine with 196 PS. Oh no, sorry, 156 PS and 196 Newton meters of torque. So yeah, it's got about 40 Newton meters of torque down from you guys, but you know, it's got the boxing spirit, so let's go.
Okay, so before we start, boxer, right? Because it's flat, right? Tapi boxer that's lying down flat, that means a boxer that's lost.
Okay, he can get back up. Don't worry, don't worry.
Okay, seatbelt on.
Right, gonna put it in sport mode and super sport mode. It's turning off the AC.
Aircon off, huh?
No.
Okay, my countdown. 3, 2, 1, go!
Come on. Oh. Ooh!
There's so much sand on my side of the road, bro. Cannot lah. We have to do over.
See, the excuses are coming in already.
What happened?
Nothing. Look at the smile on my face, bro.
Okay.
I'm not disappointed at all.
What happened? So it was a clear winner, or at least a little bit clear that the Peugeot won that one. Yeah, even though they had less power than the CR-V, maybe it's the weight or the 100cc extra that I have, because we both have turbo petrol engines, 4 cylinders. The Subaru has a naturally aspirated motor, but all-wheel drive.
Are you sure you've got turbos? It didn't seem like it. I'm not that far off. Huh?
But you were still last though. You were still last.
Yeah, but still, you know, it's kept up. Don't need a turbo.
Yeah, it kept
Turbo
up.
Schmerbo.
It kept up a little bit.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know.
We have all-wheel drive.
Yeah, so
Whatever it is, okay? Look, the Peugeot won, this lost, second place CR-V.
really didn't really lose. So for the most part, the Honda CR-V and the Subaru Forester have got quite a competitive set of safety features. They're both really safe. Peugeot, Jim, can you explain to me what's going on with the Peugeot?
Of course,
Huh?
of course.
Jim? Jim? I don't know. Maybe it's just a French thing. But anyway, if you want the safest cars, these are the two, and probably this comes out on top. Alright, so now we're in the Subaru Forester, and admittedly, I wasn't a fan of it right off the bat, okay? So when I got into the car, I felt like it was quite limp and there was no performance. So I was like, what is going on here? And I just thought that's because I didn't understand the car. So after a day where we did the fuel test, I understand that, okay, it is fuel efficient, and I understand that the car is quite intelligent.
This is a box on wheels. If you want something with ultimate practicality and commodiousness of the cabin in mind, this is the car for you, okay? Because Subaru are very good at making SUVs. In fact, I think they make the most SUVs of a lot of the other automakers, okay? They've been focusing on that for a long time. The Forester really shows it. It is a utilitarian machine, and that's why I think they've tried to take the edge off a little bit and give it a sportier sort of persona, or at least like a sportier look with this GT edition.
It's quite impressive really, because as an SUV, as a tall car anyway, you really tend to be not be confident on long bends, because it's an SUV. But in this, it does stay flat, and you're just really confident about this.
It's easy to maneuver around. The steering is not that bad actually.
Yes, it's not the fastest car in the world, but you can still have fun with it, and you can be confident that it will take you through the bends at quite some speed without the back kicking out or anything like that. And that's a testament to Subaru's all-wheel drive system.
So if you're planning to spend a lot on a car but not spend too much on fuel in the long run, then yeah, the Forester might be for you. But then again, it's not something that you consider when you're buying these kinds of cars. It's not that big of a deal. It shouldn't be. What matters is the price tag, and this one out of the three is the most expensive. So you might want to consider that one, especially if you want to own this kind of car long term.
As stylish as the Peugeot is, and as consummate of a SUV the CR-V is, this is the most fun, but also the most expensive. 187,000 ringgit. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money extra beyond the two others.
So we're currently in the 3008, and instantly the experience is completely different from the Subaru Forester. And one of the main reasons for that is because of the steering wheel. It is small. While it might feel weird initially, it actually becomes a good friend, because when you're in the tight city streets or things like that where you have to turn direction quickly, this steering wheel is a godsend. You just easily can just do one-handed turns, and you don't need to push and pull if you wish to do that.
But in terms of being an experience, this car is, I think, the most luxurious feeling of them all. The build quality is excellent. The materials are pretty good. You have like an eclectic mix of this kind of denim micro suede. The plastics are here, but they're not nasty feeling plastics. They're high quality feeling plastics.
But it feels a bit sempit. I don't know what else to say about it, because I think the center console here is a bit thick for my liking. I feel that it's a bit tight in the pedal area. My legs are not that comfortable as compared to the Forester and the CR-V.
Anyway, let's see what this car is made of. Alright, so yep, one of the main benefits of a turbocharged engine is all this grunt, and yes, the 3008 has a lot of grunt compared to the other two. Also because it doesn't have a CVT gearbox, that gives it a bit more performance than it's like the Honda CR-V, because it has a CVT gearbox. So yeah.
Yeah, we know that it can perform well, but again, fuel efficiency, you can't beat the Forester and the CR-V.
Between the Subaru, especially, and this car, they're very different machines, because the Subaru is trying to be a workhorse. The Subaru is trying to be the SUV, can do everything and do it well, and not anymore. Okay? This wants to go a little bit further and make you feel something about the experience. It wants you to like it. It wants you to come back to Peugeot.
I mean, of course, I just came from an all-wheel drive Subaru, so obviously it's not going to act the same as that. That just stays flat, and you just feel like you have grip all day long.
This is a lot like what I was saying about the 2008. It's stylish, it's a left field choice, but not really giving up that much in terms of like head stuff. The decisions that you make based on logic and sense. The Peugeot 3008 does make sense.
We've known the 1.5 litre VTEC turbo engine for quite a while now, and we've proven that it's also quite fuel efficient, but not as fuel efficient as the Forester. But then again, the Forester is so much more expensive than the CR-V.
So with Honda, generally you are getting, if nothing else, you are getting the easiest car to drive in its segment, okay? There's just something about the way that Honda designs their cars that really just focuses on intuitiveness and ergonomics and just ease. You can step into any Honda and start driving it like it was your car because it feels so natural, intuitive.
It's a good car to drive. It feels stable. You can actually drive it leisurely. If you want to go a bit faster, if you want to go for a bit more spirited driving, then you can also do that with the CR-V. Now, when you're sitting inside, it feels classy, it feels elegant, and it feels like it fits at all the right places.
It feels, I wouldn't say upmarket, it just feels mature in here. Sophisticated. Old. Anyway, so far, oh, CR-V is lovely. I mean, there's a reason why it is considered the de facto C-segment SUV. I mean, look at that. It just went over that speed hump and it's not so audible. Suspension kind of soaks it up well, and yeah, it doesn't have a loud bang like in the Peugeot.
But from what I'm feeling through my bum, this is a pretty okay car to drive. This is not bad. This is not just for dads or for moms to pick up the kids from school. This can be your overall, all-round car.
Let's say if you were driving around Gamuda Cove right now, and then when you go to the housing areas, it feels like, yeah, this is the place that you want to own and drive a Honda CR-V.
Honda, they're just master of keeping everything linear. Not linear, but like, you know, let's tick that box, let's tick that box. So we got to find a middle ground between the two.
It is beginning to show its age a little bit because this thing isn't a new girl. There is actually a brand new, all new CR-V due to come up very soon. So this is still the benchmark, but it's an older benchmark.
The Subaru Forester, it handles well. I feel like I'm smiling when I'm driving it. This car, I feel like if I go long distance, I'll be smiling in it. I don't know, the Peugeot, I just feel like, yes, it's got a lot of grunt, but it doesn't feel as refined as the CR-V and it doesn't handle as well as the Subaru Forester.
I think if I buy this right now, my family, my wife and 3 kids would be very happy traveling in and out of town, you know, long distance to Penang, to Kuantan, wherever it may be. They will most likely enjoy the feeling in the CR-V. Loved it.
So obviously, as you can see, we're all bunched up at the back now, and the reason for that is because I love these guys. Done. Okay, so obviously, as you can see, we're all bunched up at the back of the car now. The reason for that is because we want to try out the rear comfort if there's 3 passengers at the back. So we're starting off with the Peugeot 3008, and let's ask Jim, since this is his car, how do you feel?
It's my car. Okay, so actually I was expecting this car to be to fare among the 3 the worst in terms of rear passenger comfort and like space. I gotta admit, it's not too bad. I have decent shoulder room, leg room is pretty good, and despite having the glass sunroof over here, panoramic, there's a lot of headroom over here.
That's it.
Yeah, it's not too bad, if you ask me, except for the hump on my left side is a bit protruding, but yeah, I really don't mind sitting at the back with you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
As for me, I'm in the middle passenger. This is always the sore point of any rear room because there's always usually a hump here, but in the Peugeot 3008, this is quite a nice seat in the middle, and also there's no tunnel here, like, so it's quite a flat floor. So yeah, legroom is great, and yeah, I'm quite surprised, to be honest with you, how comfortable it is back here.
Halfway up.
Okay, we've moved from the Peugeot 3008 into the Honda CR-V, and let's see how Jim feels. How are you feeling, Jim?
To be honest, I'm a little bit, I don't know, disappointed because I thought this being like the default gold standard for the C-segment SUV, it would be very comfortable, very spacious at the back. But I'm actually surprised that I'm not really feeling that much more space. When I'm sitting right now, Shoulder room is about the same, maybe a little bit less, and overall comfort with the seats, it's also a little bit less than the Peugeot. I prefer the Peugeot.
Okay, Seb?
Yeah, I was a bit surprised too because I really thought that CR-V will do well in this category. I mean, it's not that far off from the Peugeot because just now I felt that a bit more comfortable in the 308. Surprising, very surprising.
What about this though? Did you know the seats can recline?
Huh?
No way. Let's just give it a try.
Ah.
So, look at a little bit.
Okay, so is it better now?
Little bit.
It's
Because
a little bit better.
shoulder room is the same. I get more headroom maybe, and my back is a little bit less stressed. So yeah.
But I do feel like it's still quite comparable to the Peugeots, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's about the same as the Peugeot for me right now.
yeah, but for me, being in the middle, the seat is not as comfortable as the Peugeots. There's a slight hump to it, so yeah, I prefer being in the middle seat in the Peugeot if I had to sit at the back. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it this.
I'm gonna give it the same as the Peugeot, halfway up.
I'm gonna, because I'm in the middle, it's better there.
All right.
Okay, last but not least, we are now in the Subaru Forester. So Jim, how do you feel?
Yeah, last but not least, this is definitely not the least at all because this is just a big box on wheels, as we proved last time with our other shootout. And look, how much space I have here, I can wiggle around. It's just a big car inside.
Yeah.
And comfortable.
Yeah, despite having a big space within the car, even the seats are a bit more flat, so you can actually have more room to the side. So I feel a lot more comfortable compared to the CR-V and the Peugeot together.
Yeah, and for me, being in the middle, the seats in the middle is just like the Peugeot. It's nice and comfortable, and I don't have any problems being in the middle row. I mean, in the middle seat for long periods of time.
I gotta say that that big hump there exists, right?
Yes, there is a big hump, but still, I'm getting comfortable. How are your legs? Okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
My legs
Yeah,
are good,
so-
so much space.
Despite having a hump in the middle, it's still okay. So yeah, how do we rate it?
Yeah, thumbs up, despite having the fact that I really wanted the CR-V to win, but I have to give the thumbs up for the Subaru.
That was quite a big surprise. Huh? We
Yeah.
never thought that would be possible.
Go Japan. All right, guys, so we've been through the gamut, or at least these cars have been through the gamut of our tests. Either the ones that we thought up, on top of our heads, or the ones that we've been doing so far in our shootout tests. So, surprisingly, well, actually unsurprisingly, the Subaru, like last time, also came up on top with the most points, all right? Which is actually unsurprising because we also tested the CR-V and the Subaru Forester, not the GT edition, but the other Subaru Forester, and also that won. Now look, points sometimes matter, sometimes Drew Carey, who's line anyway, sometimes they don't matter. But in this case, you should consider the points and also consider the fact that you want an SUV and just choose one you want. So guys, with that in mind, what do you guys think of the results?
I mean, like, obviously this is the most expensive car here, and you really have to put that into perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, although the CR-V pretty much didn't win much, or anything in fact, it just means that it's just a jack of all trades. It's good at everything, it's just a master of none, which is what Honda is known for, really.
Yeah.
It just ticks all the boxes and it just covers every baseline.
Right, so if you want the king of segment SUVs, do you want a jack of all trades, or do you want like a specialized all-wheel drive car, a really stylish French car with a panoramic roof or whatever, or do you want the king? So what do you think about the results?
Yeah, I was actually pretty surprised because I really thought that the CR-V would win a lot more than I expected, but I was also very surprised with how the 308 did. And yeah,
3008.
yeah, 3008. So if you want something that really works within a reasonable price point, then you have the CR-V, but you can get something that is probably slightly better at a slightly higher price point with the Peugeot. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's what matters is the looks, the price, and the performance. So it's all up to you actually.
And I can't stress that enough though, price is a big factor. We didn't include that as a factor, a points factor in this group test. But just to factor in, price isn't important.
Well, the champs always got the highest price, right?
Yeah. All right, so thank you again to Gamuda Cove, thank you again to my colleagues for this test. And
Hey Jim,
yeah.
Jim, do you
What?
see that pirate ship there?
Oh yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
They're building like the biggest water park in Southeast
Southeast
Asia.
Asia, yeah.
Oh, Splash Mania over here. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, maybe you can buy a house here, Jim.
Maybe,
Huh?
Maybe.
maybe.
What do you think? Let's go look at some houses.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Panas.